Very good evening to all of you, and I hope you have enjoyed deep diving into the world of AI so far, and I promise to keep the ball rolling. So what you see here is AI what? Let me come clean. This wasn't supposed to be the original topic of my presentation. This is what I came up with. Test and learn, unleashing the AI potential to tackle new media challenges. I wasn't too convinced because it didn't quite hit the spot. So I did something that all of us do these days, and I decided to take help from our dear friend ChatGPT. And this is what ChatGPT had to suggest. So this is what ChatGPT came up with, right? And what I was thinking was, what is the difference between my topic and the topic that ChatGPT suggested? So I decided to ask ChatGPT to sort of rate its own homework, right? And this is what it came up with. ChatGPT said that the topic that I selected sort of emphasizes on the experimental and learning aspect of utilizing AI in media, and thus it would appeal more to a result-oriented, to a research-oriented and an academically inclined audience. Whereas the topic suggested by ChatGPT, it has a more playful and a practical note to it. So it was highlighting the tangible outcomes and the success of AI implementation in media campaigns. So this title might attract a more industry-focused and a business-oriented audience. I'd love to hear from you guys as to which one resonates more with you. And with that, I bring to you the practical applications and success stories using AI. At Teads, we focus on two areas of generative AI, making things better, that is driving effectiveness in media, in the creative space, as well as making things simpler in terms of driving efficiencies to create operational excellence. So as we all know, AI has sort of been a transformative force in driving media efficiencies and also has rapidly changed the way we communicate and consume content, right? What we've done at Teads is that we've looked at how AI has brought in media effectiveness by driving creative impact. As you can see here, this example is for a brand called Lacoste. On the left, what you see is the original creative that was shared with us by the brand. And on the right, what you see is the edited version of the creative. Sorry. Not going back. Can you go back to the previous slide? One more, please.
With all of them.
Yeah. On the right, what you see is the edited video by the Teads creative team, where they've added a small strip at the bottom with the brand logo and also highlighted sort of the product on the right-hand side. Additionally, what they've done, I want the video to play. Okay, sorry guys. So additionally, what we've done is that we also added an end card to the video that displays the products. And in the end, what we saw is that all of these small optimizations have driven a creative impact that led to almost 50% increase in the attention and 31% increase in the brand lift, right? At Teads, video stands at the heart of everything that we do. So we've been utilizing pre-testing of video creatives. Sorry, guys. Can someone help me here with... Can we have the presentation back? Okay, so while we have the presentation back on the screen, what we've been doing is we've been working with this partner called Realize, and what essentially we've been doing is we've been pre-testing our video creatives with a panel of purpose-built participants, wherein each participant. So we pre-test our video content with a purpose-built panel of participants wherein each participant is made to watch the assets in a controlled environment, allowing an eye-tracking tool to sort of measure the attention, emotion, and sentiment parameters towards the content that is being watched, right? And in this, what we essentially do is while the data on all of these emotions like happy, confused, negative, disgusted, sad, engagement with the creative, surprise element while watching the creative, all of these elements are being tracked while the video is being played. And once this is done, the entire data is being analyzed to sort of identify which are the key points that resonated most with the audience, right? Once we identify these key points, then these points in the creative are optimized further for improving a response rate to the creative. The problem with this approach, however, is that it is very time-consuming. So this process or this panel-based approach takes anywhere between 10 to 15 days from the time the creative is submitted to the time the report is delivered. Right? And in today's fast-paced world, where we're expecting results in a matter of hours or even in a matter of minutes, this may not always be feasible. So we decided to leverage AI to make this a lot faster. And to present that, let me invite on stage our cute food panda mascot called Papa. What we've now done is we've partnered with Neurons, which is the world leader in creating predictive AI tools for effective campaign optimization and marketing, right? So what Neurons predictive AI does is that it is based on the data that is collected from 120K globally tested participants with about 10 million plus assets that have been processed, and it includes about 100 billion plus data points that have been used to generate a predictive model. And that model is called as the Neurons AI Predict. So what you see here on the left is the actual heat map of an human eye tracking response to a creative versus the creative response that is predicted by the Neurons AI Predict model, right? And what we see here is that there's a whooping 95% match rate between the two. So the Neurons AI Predict model actually boasts of 95% accuracy as compared to the panel-based approach that we spoke about earlier, right? And in this case, what we can also see is that the AI Predict model does this heat mapping in less than half the time or even a fraction of the time that is required by the Realize campaign panel measurement, right? So let's take an example. What we used is that we used a food panda creative that was shared with us by the food panda team, and we ran them through the Neurons creative predict test. Right? And here you see a graphical representation of the two key measurement parameters. The yellow line is the focus line, and it assesses the attention that is drawn by the creative. So if your creative is too cluttered, the user gets confused as to where does the focus need to be, and hence the focus score is low. The purple line that you see here is actually the cognitive demand. And it looks at memory and it measures the amount of visual information that the user needs to process. So if the creative is very complex, there's a lot of information, there's an audio playing, there's a lot of key messaging on the creative, then obviously the cognitive demand is going to be a lot higher. So overall what we see is if the focus score is low and if the cognitive demand is higher, the impact that is driven by the creative is really tough to sort of draw attention and also to retain it, right? So how can we optimize this further? Sorry guys, I think this is a little slow. So what are the strategies we implemented to optimize the assets and capture more attention? Animate, divide focus, and make it pop. So all of these strategies obviously are based on the direction that is given by the Neurons predict study as well as the Teads Studio expertise on how creatives can be best optimized for our platform. Animating does help to draw attention. Dividing focus, wherein you can show each element on the creative separately on a frame or divide it, individually on each creative. And making it pop is a great way to cut the clutter because you can add in some 3D animations, add in a lot of pop to just drive more attention. And let's see the results. So we actually made small changes and optimized the creative. I ran this back into the Neurons AI Predict engine. And what we saw was an immediate increase in focus as well as the cognitive demand. And we then took this a step further and we created a full suite of creatives keeping the direction from the neuron study at the heart of each of these optimizations. We then ran each of these optimizations through an A/B test with Kantar to actually get a human opinion on whether these optimizations were really successful. Clicking, it's not moving. Yeah, so these were the different optimized creatives that we tested with Kantar. So the A/B test included a sample of 1,000 people which were engaged with a questionnaire to generate genuine insights on whether these optimizations were successful. And here are the results. While we know that Foodpanda is a very popular food delivery app, similar to what we have in India as Zomato and Swiggy, the brand awareness was obviously significantly high. But with these optimizations, we were able to also drive a lift in two major key metrics that was ad recall as well as brand linkage. So if you see, each of these optimized creatives have shown a lift in the ad recall as well as the brand linkage as compared to the original creative. Overall, the campaign delivered a 17% lift in ad recall and a 6% lift in brand linkage. The study also showed that there was a perception of premiumness that was added to the optimized creatives. So the respondents said that the formats they saw made them feel like Foodpanda ads felt premium. So now that we've seen how we have made things better in the creative space by using Neurons effectiveness, let's see how we can make things simpler by using, improving efficiencies and driving operational excellence. So how can brands drive efficiency using AI? And here we have an example of Nissan, where they leverage the Teads AI Creative Lab. So what is the Teads AI Creative Lab? This is basically a tool developed by our innovation team wherein you can input a product URL onto the tool and the tool will crawl through the destination and within a matter of moments, it will auto-generate multiple versions of the creative that are purpose-built for lower as well as mid-funnel campaigns, right? And the AI tool also allows for human interventions in where you can, if the user wants to change the title or the headline or add an image or even change the call to action, all of those are possible. The AI will still look for relevance for all of these changes made by human intervention on the destination URL that has been inputted on the tool. And in case if that is unsuccessful and if it doesn't find any relevance, it will make suggestions on its own. So let's see the results. We optimized the creators provided to us by Nissan using this AI tool. And what we saw on the campaign was that there was a 9% decrease in the effective cost per click, as well as a 5% decrease in the effective cost per visit versus the original assets that were provided. Also, generating these creators was just a matter of minutes using the AI tool. So there was no human resource utilized or man hours wasted or utilized in creating these creatives. Now that we've seen two excellent examples of how AI has been leveraged to drive effectiveness in the creative space, let's also see what's next. Introducing the Teads AI assistant. This is something which is very much in alpha right now, but we're looking forward to having this release soon on our global media buying platform, which is called the Teads Ad Manager. So this Teads Ad Assistant, which is again an AI-based tool, will be integrated into our global media buying platform. So what this AI tool does is basically, once the user uploads a campaign brief onto the tool will automatically generate a plan that is relevant to the brief, and it will populate the plan in the form of a campaign setup on the platform. So within a matter of minutes, you've already moved from a brief stage to a plan stage onto a campaign setup stage. For all of us who've spent years in the media and have spent a lot of time in the campaign setup and management space, we know how much of a game changer this can be, right? And what we've seen is typically any campaign that would take about 10 to 15 minutes to be set up, the AI tool can just do this in less than 2 minutes. So that is the magic of AI. So overall, in all the instances, I think we've seen how AI has helped to save time and actually increase the time that is left for our human resources to focus on more creative and complex tasks, right? Also, AI has sort of been transformative in the way that it has not only sort of enhanced efficiencies, but it has also delivered unprecedented levels of personalization and insights. So I think with that, I'd say thank you very much. And you can reach out to me for any questions that you have. Scan my QR code and you'll have my credentials. Thank you.